Alrighty. See, the mic's good. Okay. What's up, guys? What's up, man? It's Monday. It's a 5-game slate today. We had a couple early games. Those have already started. So we had 7 games today. 2 of those have already started. We got 5 games tonight. It's not the greatest slate. There's some injury news we're waiting on for today, but like I doubt we're gonna get any of it on stream, which sucks because there's potentially some good value that could pop up later in the night. Big news on the Warriors that we're waiting on. Steph Curry, Draymond Green are both questionable, and that's the last game of the night. So we'll talk about kind of scenarios and like where there could be some value there, depending on, if you're quick enough to snipe some news there, get some good plays. And then there's other little stuff like DeAndre Hunter's questionable, Santi Aldama's questionable, but really the big news is in the Warriors game with Steph and Draymond questionable. And that's pretty much it. I think Deni Avdija is also questionable. I would assume Deni Avdija plays, but that we might get that news during the stream, so maybe we can snipe a play there. But I don't know if there's going to be too much value to target from the Blazers. But like Shaedon Sharpe would get a little bit of a boost. Drew Holiday would get a boost. Toumani Camara would get a little boost. So maybe we'll get that news during stream. But I don't know if this is going to be a day where we get like a bunch of news. Those are typically my favorite days on stream because we can just find so much good value. But I don't know if that's going to be the case today. We'll see. But over the next like 30 minutes or so, guys, we're going to answer some questions, talk through this slate. We will build out at least one slip. I do have some plays I'm going to share for the stream. So we'll build out a slip, maybe 2. Kind of depends on what news we get, if any, during the stream and what plays we can find. But I've already got a couple plays I'm liking that I'm going to share on stream for you guys. But yeah, man, hope you guys all had a good weekend. Hopefully, all my fellow East Coasters, hopefully you guys survived that winter storm. Luckily, where I live, it wasn't too bad. Like, we didn't lose power or anything. I thought it was going to be bad, but it really wasn't. So thankful for that at least. But yeah, man. You guys have any questions for tonight? Go ahead and start throwing those in chat and we'll get them answered for sure. But I see a lot of people in chat already, so thank you to everybody tuning into the stream. Truck Rich was asking, what's the Patreon like? If you're not in the Patreon, by the way, I'm going to do a quick plug. I don't really plug my stuff too much. I think my content kind of speaks for itself. I think people that watch my content know I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not someone that's going to be, pushing my Patreon to people like, oh, you got to subscribe. But if you want to check it out, it's $20 per month. It is super, super affordable. You're not going to break the bank. You get access to all of my Prizepicks slips that I post. I'm always posting, Prizepicks slips pretty much every day. Obviously, depending on how many games there are, sometimes I'll post more plays, sometimes I'll post less plays, but on Patreon, that's where I post a lot of my plays. I will say, if you don't play on Prizepicks, it's probably not going to be worth it to you to subscribe to the Patreon, because I'm mainly just posting Prizepicks plays. I'm mainly posting fantasy scores, which, fantasy scores are only available on like Prizepicks, Better, Underdog. So if you're not using those sites, like if you're just playing on a sports book, I would recommend not joining. Like, it's not going to be worth it to you. But if you do play on Prizepicks, really good value. So I'll just kind of show you stuff from yesterday. I'll show you how it looks. Like, it looks just like this. I post the plays. I tell you how many units you should play. And I usually do like a slip with all my plays. And then I'll take my 2 favorite plays and I'll put those in a slip. And that's literally it. I will say, the plays I put out, they will bump very quickly. So you've got to be on top of things. You've got to be at your phone. Typically, it's around like noon Eastern time when I post, but it's not, it's not guaranteed I'm going to post the exact same time every single day. But you're going to have alerts on. If you try and, tail my plays 3 hours after I post them, like, you're just going to be betting bad lines, because the lines are going to be bumped by the time you bet them. But it's really simple. Like, I give you the exact slip, what to play. I tell you how many units you should put on it, and I track all my results. You can go into the YouTube stream. You can go to any of my videos, but I'll pull up the YouTube stream just to show you. Let's see. Let me mute the stream real quick. So you can literally pull up the YouTube stream, go down to the description, and go to 2026 Patreon results. Click that link. It'll show you every slip I've placed on Patreon this year, whether it's won or lost, and our results. So far this month in January, we're up almost 11.5 units. So that's all you need to know. It's $20 per month. It's extremely affordable. You can cancel at any time if you decide to, but I highly recommend you join, especially if you're on Prizepicks. Again, if you don't play on Prizepicks, it's probably not going to be worth it to you. But for those that do play on Prizepicks, you're going to get some good value in the Patreon, no doubt. And I know a lot of the people that are in the chat right now are Patreon members, and I really appreciate everyone who supports, the Patreon. And if you're not in the Patreon, I still appreciate you as well, just tuning into the streams and watching the YouTube videos and doing all that. But that does answer that question for the person that asked. I saw Jared said it's pretty choice. I'm not sure what that means, but it says, man, got the best value. I tell you, knows his stuff, doesn't break the bank, paying for it, profitable stuff. Appreciate you, Jared. Appreciate you, my man. I mean, the people that are in chat, they can vouch for me. For those that, maybe are having questions, I should say. I saw Jacob ask, hey man, I got you on the Rui play last week. Thoughts on Drew Holiday over 16.5 PA, been working his way back from injury, facing his former team today. My man Jacob, you're already on it today. So I'm going to give out one play already on stream. This is a play that I did give out on Patreon today, and the line didn't bump, which typically that doesn't happen. It's very rare that I give out a play on Patreon and it doesn't bump, but this one didn't bump, and I still really like it. So I like Drew Holiday for more than 23.5 fantasy today. Jacob, you are asking about 16.5 points and assist. I think that's something you could look at as well. He's gone over PA his last 2 games. He's gone over fantasy 3 of his last 4. I prefer fantasy on Drew because Drew can get steals and blocks. So I think fantasy is a better bet there. But PA is totally fine as well. So for one thing, Denny Avdia is questionable. So there's a chance that, Denny Avdia gets ruled out. Drew Holiday takes on an even bigger role. That possibly could happen. Even if Denny Avia plays, Drew Holiday's still going to have a pretty good role in this offense. Drew Holiday has been very good with the Blazers this year. He's typically a player that averages about a fantasy point per minute. I'm going to look at his fantasy points per minute, though, and confirm that with you guys. Points per minute by season. So Drew's been on, a bunch of different teams. He was on the Sixers, he was on the Pelicans, he was on the Bucks, he was on the Celtics. He's been around a bunch of different teams. But if you look at this season with the Blazers, he's basically been like, his role on the Celtics was just not that good. Like, he was playing alongside Drew Holiday, or Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, he was on the team then, Derek White. Like, he was playing alongside a bunch of high usage guys. Now, it's just a totally different scenario on the Blazers. And you look this season with the Blazers, he's averaging 1.16 fantasy points per minute. So, like, on average, when he plays, 22 to 24 minutes, he's probably going to put up 24 to 25 fantasy points, sometimes more, sometimes less. But he's been very productive in the 18 games he's played in this year. The reason his lines are so low or lower right now is because, like Jacob said, he is working his way back from injury. If you look at the games he's played since coming back from injury, he went first game 16 minutes off the bench, next game 21 minutes, and then I can't remember which game it was, but there was one game where he moved back into the starting lineup. I can't remember if it was last game or the game before, but he's starting now. He was coming off the bench when he returned from injury, but now he's starting. But his minutes since he's come back, 16, 21, 20, 19, 19, and then last game we saw him get to 22 minutes. So last game was the most he's played since he's come back from injury. You would think Drew's minutes are only going to go up, as he starts to play more. I'm expecting Drew to play about 23 to 24 minutes today. Maybe he plays a little bit more. It's a possibility. He's been extremely productive with the Blazers this year. If he plays 23 to 24 minutes, I think he probably projects for about 26 fantasy points. His PRA line's at 20.5. So given there's only a 3-point difference between PRA and fantasy, I just think fantasy is really good. I mean, Drew can typically get like at least one, if not multiple, steals and blocks. He's favored to get at least one steal and block. I know he hasn't been getting many steals and blocks lately, but that just shows you that the sports books expect him, or they're liking his chances to get a steal or block here, even though he hasn't done it in any of his recent games. He's typically a guy that can get steals and blocks. So I definitely like this spot on Drew, this fantasy line on Drew Holiday. Matchup against Boston, on paper it looks like a tough one, but I think Drew's probably going to get left open a lot in this spot. Boston's a team that they apply. Okay, Steph Curry just got ruled out. Okay, hold up, guys. I got to put a bet in, and then I'm going to try and get a bet in for you guys as well. So we're going to take this Drew line, and then we're going to take a couple Warriors lines. Draymond Green is also out. Here we go. Quentin Post and Buddy Hield. Pair those with Drew Holiday. Go, 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 go. Hopefully you guys can get these in. These are going to go fast. They're going to go probably in a minute or two, but I have no delay on the stream, so you guys maybe will be able to get this in. I'm going to try and put some bets in myself. They're already gone. God damn it. Fuck! Damn, man. God, they were quick to take those off. Oh, shit. Shit. Did it? Nobody got that. Nobody got that. Damn, man. And what's crazy is I was actually going to build out a slip, assuming Steph and Draymond out, and they got ruled out. And now all the props are gone. Fuck. Yeah, everything's gone. Dude, god damn it, man. That would have been such a good slip, man. God, that would have been such a good slip. I'm pissed. I mean, I got it in, but, like, I can only... This is why I hate Prizepicks. Like, I would be betting lots of money on these slips if I actually could. But I could bet $5 fucking, man. I'm not even going to count that as a stream slip because, like, nobody got that, so... But, yes, I do like this Drew Holiday play. We'll find a couple more plays. One of the plays I was going to give out was the Quentin Post prop because I thought there was a good chance Draymond might not play. And they don't have Al Horford either. So, like, I really like that play on Quentin Post. But that line's going to get bumped a ton. Damn, man. Damn. Well, shit. That just threw a wrench into things. Because my stream slip today was going to be Drew with Quentin Post. And then I was going to maybe either do another play that I like that I'll share or another Warrior player. I didn't think they would put that news out so early. I figured we'd be waiting for that. I mean, you guys could check like other sites, but I'm sure all the lines are gone. Like Prizepicks pulled everything. I'm sure all the other apps have pulled everything too. Yeah, everything's gone. God almighty. Well, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Damn. Damn, man. Damn. Because that was going to be such a good stream slip. I was going to literally build out a slip, assuming they, Draymond and Steph out. And it would have been so good. And they had to put that news out before I could put it out. I guess that's what I get for running my mouth for talking too much. But we'll give out a couple more plays to pair with this Drew Holiday prop. So, guys, just wait. I'll give out a couple more plays for this one. Maybe we get some other news. I'll keep an eye on something. But I was hoping that Steph and Draymond news wouldn't come out right now. Because, God, I wanted that Quentin Post prop. Damn. Oh, well. Did anyone get that in? I highly doubt it. Everyone said too fast. Truck Rich said the house always wins. Yeah. Because when you're good enough to beat them, they're going to limit you. So, yeah, you're honestly right. Like, that's how I made so much money on Prizepicks, is because of situations like this, being ready, being able to react to injury news quickly. If I wasn't limited on Prizepicks, I would be betting, like, $500, $1,000 on these slips, but I can't. Like, it's so annoying. I made a killing off Prizepicks before they, ruined my account. It is what it is. HB said, can we get a Discord link? So HB, the Discord link is only available for Patreon members. So if you join the Patreon, either message me or check your email, and you'll have the Discord link there. But yeah, it's only available for Patreon members. So if you're not in the Patreon, sorry, you can't get in the Discord. But once you join the Patreon, you get access to the Discord for life. So it's like a $20 one-time payment to get into the Discord. I got my Ant discount, my 40% boost. I'll go ahead and get a bag today. I didn't know there was a discount. I guess I don't have that. So yeah, if there's a discount, you guys could add that to this if you wanted to. For those that have the discount. Love these live streams. Easy cash this morning. Maxi under points, 6 points. NBA sad sport. I found unders are easy this time of the year before All-Star break. I mean, yeah, unders are going to look good when the team loses by 50. Shout out to the Sixers. Luckily, we had a Quentin Grimes over. That was something that I gave out on Patreon, and luckily we cashed it by a hair. We cashed that Quentin Grimes over, even in the blowout, thankfully. Lord Phantom says, what's going on, Noah? What's up, Lord Phantom? What research tools do you use to find props that you like? A lot of stuff. StatMuse is probably the best site, in my opinion. One of the best. It's free. You can literally search anything you want on StatMuse. I can look up Kevin Durant. Not that this really matters, but you can look up Kevin Durant game log versus Grizzlies, because they play the Grizzlies tonight. And you can literally see all of his games when he's faced the Grizzlies. You can see what team he played for. So obviously, looking at games when he was on the Warriors probably doesn't matter. But like, you can see what he had when he was with Houston, Phoenix. Like, you can look up anything. So I use StatMuse a lot. I use the NBA website. Like, the NBA website has a ton of stats. You can look at like team stats for this season. You can see what teams play at the fastest pace, what teams, have the best rebound percentage, the worst rebound percentage. You can see, defensive rating, what teams are the best defensively, what teams are the worst defensively, offensive rating. You can sort it by like last, if you want to look at last 10 games. Last 10 games, look at the Charlotte Hornets. They've been great offensively lately. Second in offensive rating. So you can see what teams are playing good defensively as of late, what teams are playing bad defensively as of late, stuff like that. So the NBA website has a ton of stats, team stats, player stats, whatever you want to look for. And then of course, I use kind of my own knowledge. I've been following the NBA for 10 years. I've been doing content for 8 years, 9 years. So I have a lot of knowledge about basketball. Use that to my advantage as well. A lot of stuff I kind of already know. Like, I know what teams are bad defensively, what teams are good, just from, following the NBA every day. But if you want to look more into it, you can do that on the NBA website. Just joined the Patreon. What do you think about Jalen Smith over 26 fantasy? So, Jalen Smith has been starting lately. I think there's a chance that he comes off the bench today and they go to Josh Giddey in the starting lineup. Josh Giddey's been coming off the bench, but I think eventually Josh Giddey's going to start. Today could be the day that he does start. So I'd be a little iffy on Jalen Smith. I know he's probably gone over his fantasy a lot lately, but there's a chance he goes back to the bench today and his minutes come down. If you do, once we get the Bulls starting lineup, if Jalen Smith is starting, I don't mind taking him over 26 fantasy. Like, I think that's solid if he's starting. If he's not starting, I don't really like it. Damn, we got 18 inches of snow up in southern Maine. Damn. I live in South Carolina, and we get 1 inch of snow, and it's like the end of the world. We didn't even get like much snow. It was a little bit of ice, a little bit of rain. Luckily, nothing to really even affect, our livelihood, power, or anything. Power stayed on. We were all good. I will say, nobody was on the roads yesterday, but I mean, the roads are fine now. How do we join the Patreon? Go to the link in the description. It's patreon.com/DFS by Noah. There's a link in the description. You can just click that. It'll take you there. Hey Noah, this is Optimus. I put Luka, Mo Wagner, Amin Thompson over fantasy score on a slip. Not a serious slip, but I wanted to know your thoughts on it. Let's take a look at those, Optimus. Let's take a look at those. So you had Luka, Mo Wagner. So Mo Wagner, his minutes, I want to say, have been slowly creeping up. They were playing Goga as the backup center, and now they've kind of flipped that, and they're going back to Wagner. And I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the season, or like when Wagner's been healthy, like he's typically the backup center. He just, he's been out a lot of the year. So the question is, do they run like a three-headed center rotation? Like last game they played Wendell, Mo, and Goga all got minutes, but Goga only played 5 minutes. If you take those 5 minutes away and give them to Mo, and it's just Wendell and Mo getting the center minutes and Goga gets a DNP, I feel good about this prop on Mo. Like if you tell me Mo's playing 20 minutes and Wendell plays 28 minutes and those two cover the 48 center minutes, you give me 20 minutes from Mo, I think he gets 15.5 fantasy because he's typically a good per minute player. But I think there's a chance that maybe Wendell plays 28 minutes, Mo plays 14, and Goga plays 6. And if Mo's playing 14, then I don't feel as good about it. So it kind of depends. Like, do you think Goga is just out of the rotation? Which it's possible. His minutes have gone down the last few games. So I'm pretty sure Mo was the first sub, although I can't even look at that because Popcorn Machine's been down for like a week. But I think Mo's been subbing in first at the backup center. And then maybe they give a few minutes to Goga. Don't love the matchup against Cleveland, but if he gets like 15 to 20 minutes, I think it's fine. And then Luka and Amin Thompson. I mean, Luka's line's super high, 59.5. That feels like a good line on Luka. I don't see much edge on the over there. But that doesn't mean I like the under either. I think that's just kind of an accurate line. Okay, Denny Avia got ruled out. So this Drew Holiday play probably looks even better. If you guys want, we can take this. Let's actually do a slip. Let's do this. They're about to pull these lines too. Damn, Prizepicks is on it today. Holy shit. Okay, well, the Drew Holiday line's gone now, so that's great. I mean, maybe we're not even going to give out a slip today. Like, Prizepicks is just... They're taking it all down. The thing is, like, Denny being out definitely helps Drew, but I really don't know how much they can really bump Drew's lines because he's only going to play probably 23, 24 minutes. It's not like they're going to bump his line from 23.5 to 30.5. Like, maybe his line bumps up a point or two. But damn, man. Like, Prizepicks is... They're killing me today. All these injuries coming out on stream, I did not expect. Especially because some of these games are, later. I mean, that Celtics game is what? It's at 8 o'clock. Like, I didn't think we'd get that news this early. Let me see if any other apps have. I bet Better's already probably pulled. Portland props. Yeah, they're already gone. Honestly, guys, like, I typically want to give a slip out every stream, But today I might not, because like the plays I've already wanted to take, like they're all just getting gone. And I don't want to post something just to post it. Like I'm trying to help you guys win. So yeah, maybe we might not do a slip today, sadly. But I'll try and answer a lot of questions for sure. I'm trying to get through all these questions I've missed while I was talking. But for Optimus, to answer your question, the Mo Wagner over, I think it's okay. Luka, I'm iffy on that one. And then Amen, that's a tough one. It's a big spread in that game. It's a good matchup, though. I will say, I think his line already has bumped up a ton. Like, I think Amen's fantasy line was at 36.5 earlier today. But Amen's one of my GOATs, man. Like, he just comes through all the time. He's like one of my favorite players to watch because he just does everything. Like, he scores, he rebounds, he gets assists, he gets offensive stats. Like, he's all around he's everywhere. Like, he's not one of those guys that's just going to stand in the corner. Like, he's going to crash the glass. He's going to be, aggressive on defense. He always has chances to get steals and blocks. But I think 40.5 is probably a good line on Amen. Like, I don't think I'd be running to bet the over there. You definitely put better plays on your VIP instead of YouTube, let's be honest. I mean, the YouTube plays are still really good. Like, you can literally look at the plays I give out on YouTube. A lot of times, the lines are bumping 2-3 points. I'm getting good value on the YouTube plays. We gave out, Josh Giddey over 20.5 points and assist. The line's at 22 now. We gave out DeAndre Ayton over 11.5 points. The line's at, that one's at 11.5 still. But a lot of times, the YouTube plays are going to be good values as well. Now, I will say, my biggest edge, I've made the most money on Prizepicks betting fantasy scores. If fantasy scores were out the night before, I would put those out on YouTube, but they're not out the night before. And I can't do my YouTube videos, later in the day because they only have a certain amount of time before, once the game starts, like nobody's watching the videos. So I try and get the YouTube videos out as early as I can, just so that, for content's sake, they can be better, more time for people to watch them, stuff like that. It's hard to explain that to people, but I think if you were in my shoes, like if you did content, you would understand. It makes sense to get the videos out early. Like, I'm not going to post a video, 2 hours before a game starts because, like, nobody's going to have time to watch it. By the time the game starts, like, the video's worthless at that point. Are the Patreon plays more valuable? Probably. Because fantasy scores, I've said this so many times, are some of the easiest markets to beat on Prizepicks. But yes, if I could, I would give out fantasy scores on YouTube as well for NBA, but the lines aren't available the night before. I can't use Prizepicks in my state, but I found you in a random search looking for extra people to tail. I do use your plays I can for sportsbooks via your daily videos. So far, so good. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear that. I would definitely say if, for your sake, probably doesn't make much sense for you to join the Patreon because, again, if you can't use Prizepicks, I would recommend not joining. But I'm glad the YouTube videos are helpful. And sometimes, I will give out plays on Patreon that aren't fantasy scores, but it's mainly going to be fantasy scores. What about Mo Wagner over 7.5 points, Vooch over a block, Kevin Huerter over rebounds? I mean, the Wagner one, again, it just kind of comes down to his minutes, how many minutes he's going to play. If they go away, if they don't play Goga and Wagner gets all the backup center minutes, I would like that play. If Goga's still going to get some minutes, I don't feel as good about it. Vooch over a block, that's just like, that's a pure gamble, in my opinion. Like, I'd almost never bet steals and blocks props. They're just so tough to project and to predict. Like, who knows if Vooch gets a block or not? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure you could probably look up, like, do the Lakers get blocked a lot? I would think not, because, like, Luka's a jump shooter. Like, I mean, he will drive. LeBron will drive. A lot of times you're going to get blocks when players are driving to the basket. And then the last one was Kevin Durant. I said Kevin Huerter. Kevin Durant over 3.5 rebounds. I mean, that one seems good. I would assume that's probably a goblin line. Yeah, it's a goblin line. I've said this before. I don't play the demons and goblins on Prizepicks. They're just not good values. They're not worth it. But, if you like it, then I guess you can play it. I'm headed over now to sign up. Thanks. Hey, Northeast Pursuit. Appreciate you joining, man. If you have any questions, hit me up in Patreon or hit me up in Discord, and I'll answer everything you need. Any questions you need. You think Houston will cover the spread tonight? I didn't even look at the spread in that game. Minus 10.5. I would say they should. They're at home. They're facing a Grizzlies team without John Morant. I would think they win by 11, but those double-digit spreads are always tough, man. Just join the Patreon. I can say that it's a community that wants everyone to win. I mean, that's definitely the goal. We're all just trying to make money at the end of the day. Never heard Noah swear. Hey, yeah, sometimes I swear if I get mad enough. Prizepicks definitely got faster from years past. That is very true, man. That is very true. It was so easy to make money on Prizepicks in the early days because, like, you saw how quick they took off that prop when Steph Curry got ruled out. 4 years ago, those props would have been up for 5 minutes. But times have changed, man. Times have changed. It sucks, but we made our money while we could. Or at least I did. I tried to. 1 out of 10, how confident are you in the 8 in points prop? I mean, I don't think there's anything, like, there's no such thing as a confidence rating. At the end of the day, I put the play out. I wouldn't be putting the play out if I wasn't confident. That's what I'll say. And you can go watch the YouTube video. You can hear all of the reasons why I like the play. So I don't know if me saying 10 or me saying 1 makes you bet the prop or not bet the prop. At the end of the day, I put the prop out there because I'm confident. I give the reasons why. You can either choose to bet it or not. Until the edge coming, Bona under, and now Curry is out. Oh yeah, I saw your slip in Discord. Yeah, I think that slip's going to be a refund now. So that sucks. But you called it with the edge coming, Bona under. I was a little skeptical on those, but yeah, that was a good call by you. Yeah, all Golden State props are down. Yeah, they're way down. Or they've been down. Maybe they put them back up. I guess we can take a look and see if any of them are back up. Damn, okay, so Pod's fantasy went up 4 points, 3 points. Gary Payton went up a little bit. Post, yes. So you saw, Post's line went up 7.5 points. God, that would have been such a good play, man. Post line went up 7.5 points. Buddy Hield's line went up how many? Do they have Buddy Hield fantasy? Did I miss it? They don't have any Hield fantasy yet, but I mean his points prop went up, I think, 4 points. So his fantasy's probably going up like 5 or 6 points. Yeah, that Quentin Post prop was really good. I mean, he could still miss 18 fantasy, but God, dude, I wish it wouldn't have came out this early, because that was gonna be my slip for today. Oh well. Oh well. LeBron's PRA overs pass power forward's been killing it versus the Bulls, and it might be a close game. I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. Like, I try not to look at like power forwards, because at the end of the day, basketball has become like a positionalist sport. LeBron's could be considered a power forward. He could also be considered a point guard. He could also be considered a small forward. He'll play center minutes. Like, I try not to look at like DVP. I think DVP only matters mainly for like centers, because I mean centers, that's a position that, typically one player plays that position, whereas LeBron, he can play multiple positions. I think the matchup is good though. It should be a close game. LeBron has been playing well lately, but I think his lines are set correctly tonight. Like, I don't see a ton of value on any LeBron props, me personally at least. My country, there's no fantasy score. Yeah, if that's the case for you, man, then I'm sorry. It probably wouldn't be worth it for you to join the Patreon. But again, you can still tell the YouTube plays, because most of the time those are not going to be fantasy scores, at least for NBA, because there's no fantasy scores the night before. Guess if you win too much, you didn't get the ant discount. I do not have the ant discount, no. I almost never get the discounts unless it's like a discount that's available to everyone. So like a free square, like the Sam Darnold free square, I got that. But yeah, the flash discounts, like I'd never get those. Even if I did get them, I mean, I can only put $5 anyway. If you don't mind me asking, does Prizepicks limit you when you win over a certain amount on the app, or is it how often, frequently you win, or both? I know a lot of people that have won upwards of 100,000. So for one thing, your amount won, that doesn't matter. And this might be some shocking news to people. You know, when you pull up Prizepicks and you look at your lineups, it'll show you like this is your amount won. That's your amount won. That's what you have off winnings, but that doesn't account for your losses as well. You know, you might play a $100 slip and win $500, and your amount won says $500, but then you could lose your next 5 slips and be down $500, and your amount won still says $500, even though you just lost $500 the previous days. So that doesn't even matter. What matters is your net profit, your winnings minus your losses. I don't know the exact number. I think for most people, it's like once you're up like 5 to 10K profit, you're going to get limited. It also depends on like what you're betting. You know, for me, betting injury news stuff, so betting props when players get ruled out, like that gets you limited quicker because you're going to get really, really good closing line value doing that. And that's a lot of times that's how Prizepicks dictates when to limit players. If they're getting closing line value, so if you're betting a prop and then when the game starts, the line is, you know, if you took the over, the line is a lot higher than what you took it at. Or if you're betting an under, the line is lower than what you took it at, then that's another reason Prizepicks could choose to limit you. Because over time, when you're consistently getting closing line value, you're going to make money. And there's people in my Patreon that have been getting limited because, you know, they're betting the props I give out that have a lot of value, that get a lot of closing line value, and that can lead to them getting limited. So I don't think there's any specific number. I think it's just Prizepicks looks at every account. I will say for me, I was actually able to play a good amount before Prizepicks finally limited me. But it varies by user, I definitely think. Is there any particular notification tool you use to get injury reports? Yes. Follow this account right here on Twitter, or X. Underdog NBA, turn on notifications for their account. They report injuries basically just as fast as any others, you know, anywhere else. You could also look at the official NBA injury report, which is on the NBA website. It's official.nba.com/NBA. You know, just Google NBA injury report and click on the NBA link, and you can see the NBA injury report updates every 15 minutes. So you can look at the 6:30 report, and you can see this is the official NBA injury report with, you know, outs, questionables, probable tags. So obviously you go to the Warriors and you can see Steph Curry's, you know, listed as out now. Draymond's listed as out. There might be other sites that still have them listed questionable, even though they got ruled out, you know, what? How long ago? Like 20 minutes ago? 25 minutes ago? So that's the quickest way to get injury updates. Also, whenever teams put out their starting lineups, Underdog will tweet that out as well. So like the Cavs put out their starting lineup, they tweet that out. And a lot of times there can be good value on starting lineups if you know what the starting lineup is supposed to be and it's something different than what it's supposed to be. You can bet overs and unders off of that. But right now, the two starting lineups we have, Cavs and Magic, those are what they're supposed to be, so there's no edge there. But when there's an injury or something, like for the Warriors for example, the Warriors tonight, there could be an edge with the Warriors because who knows what their starting lineup's going to be. It should be Pods, Moody, Post, and then I guess Guy Santos, I guess Buddy Hield, but it could be Gary Payton. It could be, you never know with Steve Kerr. It could be Hill. Who else do they even have? Let me see. It could be Will Richard. he could start. His lines are probably not set as if he's going to start. So, like, if Will Richards starts, like, there could be some value on his overs. If Gary Payton starts, there could be value on his overs. You know, maybe Pat Spencer. Like, that's something to keep an eye on for sure. So, knowing what the starting lineups are going to be and then being able to adjust if there's something different than what they're supposed to be, there's value there for sure. I've given out a ton of plays in my Discord. You know, when a player is not starting that's supposed to start, I'll ping that in Discord. And a lot of times, you know, those are plays that have really good value. That's another reason you should be in our Discord, because I'm constantly, you know, giving out plays in there when there's news that comes out. Now, these plays will get taken off the board very quickly, but I at least want to try and get them out to you guys for people that maybe will be able to get them in. Sometimes you get them in, sometimes you don't. Yeah, I did see that they got the Warriors props back up. I mean, just from first glance, these lines look about right, but I will say, if Golden State comes out here and gets blown out, like, there could be some value in some maybe unders here. I mean, Pod's at 33.5 fantasy, like, that is a pretty high line. But it's, you know, if the Warriors keep this game close, Pods probably goes over. If the Warriors come out here and lose by 30, Pods probably goes under. So it's kind of like, how do you see this game going? And I don't think Pods would play in a blowout. Some of these other guys might, though. Like Post might, Moody might. I doubt it, though. I don't see any value right now. But again, like, starting lineup's going to be important for sure. I'll be keeping an eye on that. I think the books are assuming Post, Moody, Pods, probably Gee, because I think he started recently, and then it's probably going to be either Hield or Richard, but maybe it could be something completely different. You never really know with Steve Kerr. You like any Jalen Smith lines? Right now, no, but if he's starting, you could look at some overs there. I think there's a chance though that he goes back to the bench tonight and that Josh Giddey starts. Sites will limit you when you win too much. I have to use exchanges. FanDuel, DraftKings limited me about 2 years ago. It's easy to get limited on Prizepicks a lot. Very true. That's very true. Yeah, the exchanges are peer-to-peer, so there's really no limits on those sites. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even know if anybody played that Drew prop. Okay, they did add Drew back with a 2-point bump, which honestly, like, a 2-point bump, I think that's still playable. It really comes down to, like, how many minutes can Drew play. He definitely should be more productive, though, now that Denny's out. I mean, let's see. Let's look at what he's done without Denny. I think he's played, like, 1 or 2 games without Denny. So let's see. So he's played 4 games without Denny. I mean, you can see his fantasy points per minute really good. 21 minutes, 23 fantasy points. 21 minutes, 30 fantasy points. 20 minutes, 16. But then 22 minutes, 31. So since he's come back from injury, how many... Let's see. Drew's played 6 games since coming back from injury, and looks like 4 of those were without Denny. And he went over that fantasy line in 2 out of 4. This is what matters, though, is right here, is the minutes. If he can get to like 24 or 25 minutes, I still like it. If he's only going to play like 21 or 22, then I'm kind of iffy. But I think he plays probably a little bit more here. This is a back-to-back for the Blazers. They do play again tomorrow. So maybe they play Drew like 25, 26 minutes tonight and then sit him tomorrow. Maybe. But I want to say last time they were on a back-to-back, he played 19 minutes and then 22 minutes on the second night of the back-to-back. I don't think I would touch it right now. Shaedon Sharpe at 34.5, like, that feels about right. It's a bad matchup, but he's going to have a big role. Kamara at 27. I feel like that's about right, too. Same with Klingon. Yeah, Yeah, I don't see much value on the Blazers right now, at least. I wish I knew how many minutes Drew would play, because that would definitely dictate my interest. What do you think about doing college basketball slips? I'll be honest, man, I do not follow college basketball at all. The only time I watch college basketball is during the tournament, you know, the March Madness tournament. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever be doing college basketball stuff. They don't put up fantasy scores up the night before for the same reason to not get an edge. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of times why. The fantasy scores are typically posted the day of, and they are subject to change. You know, the lines, a lot of the lines are different from what they post them at, because it's just like, it's a softer market. So, you know, a lot of times the people that are betting fantasy scores are people that like at least know something about fantasy and know what they're doing to beat those lines. What's up, Noah? What do you think about Kobe White points and Şengün PRA? Let's look at Kobe White. So Kobe White, I'm a little hesitant just because I think, you know, if Josh Giddey comes back into the starting lineup, that could probably hurt Kobe White a little bit. The more minutes he plays alongside Giddey is probably worse. But I think the matchup's solid. He's been playing well lately. I feel like 29.5 PRA is probably a good line on Kobe. But, I mean, if you want to play it, man, you can play it. And then Şengün PRA. The only thing I'm worried about with Rockets here is just the blowout risk. Also, I think Şengün's minutes have been a little bit down lately. Last game, he played 30. Like, he hasn't been getting like 36, 37 minutes. He's kind of been like in the low 30s. But Memphis right now doesn't have Zach Edey. They don't have Jock Landale. Like, they're pretty thin at the center position. So it should be a good spot for Şengün. But the minutes concern me a little bit, and the blowout risk as well. So I'm a little hesitant on those plays, man. But again, if that's something you like, feel free to roll with it. Redick benches 8 in fourth quarter last 3 games. You're not wrong. He has been losing minutes in the fourth quarter. I think a lot of that, though, has been the Lakers have gone on some runs when he's been on the bench. The Lakers have also been playing more small ball lately with Rui at the 5. Sometimes they'll do that if they're playing from behind and they need more spacing and more shooting. In this game, though, they're favored. So if they're playing from ahead or if it's a close game, like, Ayton should be on the floor. I don't think Ayton's going to play 22 minutes every game. Like, he's eventually going to get back to, like, that 28 to 30 minute range. And the matchup's good against the Bulls. So, the Ayton over that I gave out last night, I mean, I still like it. No cap, I've been following for a minute on free plays on YouTube. Might join in the Patreon. Hey, it's $20 a month, man. Again, you pay that $20, you get access to the Discord. And, you know, after the month is over, if you want to cancel your membership, you're able to cancel it anytime. But I track every play I give out on Patreon. You can see, you know, we're already up like 11 units this month. And again, if you want to check how the Patreon plays are doing, you can literally go into the YouTube description of all my videos or of these live streams, and you can see all the results from this year. And then from last year, we finished the year up 38, I think 38.1 units. So you're gonna make money. I mean, you've got to have bankroll management, though. On days when we win, like you can see right here, we've been on a heater, no doubt. I mean, we've won a lot lately. But we've won a lot lately. That doesn't mean I'm telling, you know, my people, hey guys, start betting more money because we've been winning more lately. Like, no, you got to stick to the same unit size. You know, the amount that we were betting here should be the same amount that we're betting here. Like, there should be no difference. But that's something that a lot of people struggle with. They start losing, so they start betting less. And then when we start winning again, you know, they're not getting the return they should because they've started betting less. And then when we start winning a bunch, they start betting more. And then when we lose, you know, if we start losing a few days, now they're losing more money because they've been betting more. So it's like you just got to stick to the same units. You know, find an amount that you can afford to play every day and just play that amount every day. It doesn't matter if you win 6 days in a row or you lose 6 days in a row. Just stick to the same unit size. You'll make money, but you've got to have discipline. If you don't have discipline, you're never going to make money in gambling. Yeah, I saw a post back up at 25.5. I don't really like 25.5. I wouldn't recommend that, I don't think. But I will say, without Draymond, without Al Horford, Post is going to play a lot. I don't know, though, if Post plays in a blowout. They might play Trace Jackson Davis, so that concerns me a little bit. But I wonder if you could look. Let's see. Quentin Post, FanDuel game log without Draymond Green and without Al Horford this season, and see if there's any games. So he's played 5 games without Draymond and without Al Horford. 26 minutes, 28 minutes, 32 minutes, 26 minutes, 33 minutes. 27, 26, 34, 31, 26. So, you know, he is over this line in 5 out of 5 games without Draymond and without Horford this year, if you think that matters. The minutes have also been really good in those games. Like, I still think it's okay, honestly. I still think it's okay. I do worry, though, if it's a blowout, he probably isn't playing in a blowout. They're going to play Trace Jackson Davis in a blowout. And this game could be a blowout for sure. But he is 100% hit rate on that line without Dre and Horford. Noah, I made $15K on Prizepicks in the summer on soccer and tennis lately, but been doing NBA and down to a $2.5K in the balance. That's tough, man. That's tough. Again, like I just said, you got to have discipline, you know. If you can make 15K, you could also lose 15K. Like, you just got to, when, you know, if you did really well and you made a bunch of money on one sport, you know, maybe stick to that sport, you know. Stick to the sports you're having success in. I know it's the Rockets, but what about going back to the well and Cam Spencer RA? He cooks when Shaw's not playing. Dude, I feel like that's a play that always hits. Is Cam Spencer's RA without Ja. What's it at tonight? 10? I mean, I think the Atlanta game was with Ja. This game was with Ja, but these games were without Ja. Like, he's been really good getting rebounds and assists without Ja. Let me look at this real quick. I mean, yeah, look at his last, just what, you know, 10 or so games without Ja. 15, 13, 16, 11, 16, 8, 15, 17, 18, 16. The matchup's definitely bad. Like, it's not a good matchup for rebounds or assists. But Cam Spencer has had a really big role as their primary point guard ball handler. He's getting a ton of assists. He's even grabbing rebounds. Like, honestly, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't think, though, he would play in a blowout, so that concerns me a little bit if Memphis gets blown out. But I don't hate it. I mean, you can see the hit rate without Ja has been incredibly good. Even if you look at the games where he's played at least 30 minutes, 17, 16, 15, 9, 16, 11, 13, 15. Quite good for Cam Spencer. I just joined the stream, Noah. Any fantasy scores you like? We gave out a couple, man, but the lines have either bumped or got removed. I didn't even give out a stream slip today because, like, what I was going to give out just got wiped away. But I did recommend Drew Holiday over 23.5 fantasy. That was before Denny Avia got ruled out. The line's at 25.5 now. You could take a 2-point bump if you wanted to. And then the Warriors plays, I'm not even going to discuss those because it's just a completely different scenario now. But yeah, today's one of the rare days where I didn't give out a slip on stream. But of course, we'll definitely have some stream slips in the coming days. But today I just think it wasn't worth it. How much money did you wager on Prizepicks at your peak? I was able to get down, like, this was before I got limited for 4 picks. Pretty much for anything that wasn't a 2-pick, I was able to play $500 in the early days. And then I think for 2 picks, I was able to play $1,000. Those were the good old days. Now I can't bet but $5. But it also depends on your account. I think when I first joined Prizepicks, I was actually down. Like, I was down like 10 or 15K. So I was able to get higher limits. And then I wound up making all that money back and then some. So it really just depends on your account, how much you bet. I would say for a lot of people, like when you first join Prizepicks, like if you try and put like $1,000 down right out of the gate, like they're probably not going to let you. Maybe they do. I don't know. Things may be different now. But when I first joined, I think it was $100. And I went on a bad stretch. Like I was down like 5 or 10K. And my limits got upped. And then when my limits got upped, I started winning. So, but yes, I was able to get down like, 500 to 1,000. But I've been doing this like so long. Like I've been doing this I made a lot of money playing daily fantasy, and I was able to kind of carry that over to Prizepicks and props. How do you find the Discord? I joined the Patreon, can't seem to find it. Just message me on Patreon and I'll get it to you. Or what you can do if you check your email. So like when you join the Patreon should send you an email, like a welcome email. And if you look in that welcome email, it says like click here to join the Discord. So check your email, it should be in there. What was your biggest win on Prizepicks? 5K. I've had a lot of wins for 5K because I would do 4 pick powers. I could bet 500 on those, so it was 500 to win 5K. And then I think my max winnings, like it was capped at 5K. Like I couldn't submit any slips that had over 5K winnings. 5K potential winnings. Pods PRA getting bet up. Already jumped to 27.5, got it at 26.5. That's interesting. I mean, without without Steph, without Dre, without Jimmy, like he's gonna have a big role. But I do worry, the matchup's not great, and I do worry about blowout risk for Pods. I wonder if he's played games without all these guys, like how it's gone. I could probably look at that. Let's see. Podziem. I never know how to spell his name. Game log without Steph Curry and without Draymond Green and without Jimmy Butler. Let's see. So it looks like one game this season was without, So this could be something that we see for the Warriors tonight. So this was so on January the 2nd, they played a game without Draymond, without Steph, without Jimmy. They did have Al Horford for this game. But like, you see the minutes and you see the score. Now they were playing OKC, but they got their shit beat bad. The starting lineup was Gee, Post, Moody, Pods, Richard. That's probably what the starting lineup's going to be tonight. And then you had Pat Spencer play 31 minutes off the bench. Trace played 24. Buddy Hield played 24. GP played 16. And then I think these G League guys, Cryer and Leons, I don't know much about these guys, but I think they're available to play tonight. They are. So, Golden State's going to have, a 10-man rotation? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they'll have 11 guys available. But yeah, this could be what the box score for the Warriors looks like tonight. Obviously, they lost this game by 30-something points. If they lose again by 30-something points, then yeah, it could look like this. If they actually keep this game competitive, though, you could see more minutes for guys like Pods and Moody and Post, a lot of the main guys. I wonder... Let me look at that game. I wonder who played in the blowout. So that game was on, what day was that? January 2nd? That'll give me a good idea of who plays in a blowout tonight. So in that game, it looks like the blowout lineup was Gee, Post. So Post did play blowout, okay. Pat Spencer, TJD. So they played TJD and Post in blowout, and then Buddy Hield. So that's interesting. They let Buddy Hield play blowout too. Now they do have those 2 G League guys, Cryer and Leon. So those 2 guys will definitely play blowout for sure. And then after that, I don't know who else it would be. It could be TJD. Pat Spencer for sure. Probably, and then probably one of TJD or Post, and then probably one of Gee or Buddy Hield. Probably Gee. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, Patreon cost us $20. $20 per month. And you want to purchase through the Patreon website. if you purchase through the Apple Store, Apple charges fees. So like if you download the Patreon app and then you pay for the membership through the Patreon app, they do charge fees for that. It's like, I think it's like $8 or $9 more. So if you can, go and subscribe through the Patreon website, the Patreon link, like patreon.com/DFS by Noah. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. I think I answered most of the questions today. I know it was kind of a crazy stream. You know, we didn't even get a slip in. A lot of the shit I was gonna give out got taken off. You know, it is what it is. But I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. Felt like we had a lot of people in chat today, a lot of questions. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. We'll be live again tomorrow, probably same time. Let me look at the schedule. Let's see here. So tomorrow we have 7 games starting at 7 o'clock. So yeah, we'll probably go live at 6 again tomorrow. And we'll probably, you know, do like a 45-minute, hour stream. Kind of depends on, it really depends on how things are going, you know, news-wise, if there's a lot of questions, stuff like that. But yeah, hope you guys can all make some money tonight. And I hope I'll see you in the stream tomorrow. Best of luck, everybody. Peace out.